Ann Coulter wanted to show the world just how unlikable she is by ranting against Delta. And usually, I'm in favor of rants against airlines because they make flying a little more difficult than it needs to be. However, Coulter took matters way too far when she decided to lash out on innocent people on the flight that didn't do anything wrong. Now, let me set up the story for you. She's on a flight from LaGuardia Airport in New York to West Palm Beach in Florida. So relatively short flight. And she had paid $30 extra to get a specific seat on the flight, a seat that has extra leg room and is in an emergency exit row. Now, Coulter went on to complain that Delta moved her and then didn't really give her a reason as to why they moved her. They moved her to another seat that has extra leg room, but it wasn't the specific seat that she wanted, okay? She went on to complain that Delta spends all its money on beautiful aircraft and then hire Nurse Ratcheds as flight attendants and gate agents. So already the insults against people begin, and the first insult goes toward the flight attendants that just wanted to fix this mix-up. And I get it, it's a super annoying mix-up, right? You pay for an extra seat, you should get that extra seat. But they made a mistake and they tried to make it better.
So far, this is not bad, okay? It's not extra seat, of course, as you explained. It's just extra space in that seat.
Right.
She already got extra space in the new seat, but okay, you're mad. And as you know, I've had my issues with airlines. And I think sometimes the flight attendants have been over-empowered and go on power trips. So it's possible that this story ends with us agreeing with Ann Coulter, but it's Ann Coulter, so of course she's not going to stop that.
Right, so if she was complaining about not getting the seat that she paid for, I'm on her side. That's super frustrating. But then she goes on to blast people on her social media. So her Twitter account has a little over 1 million followers, I believe. And she starts insulting the woman that was placed in the seat that she had originally paid for. Hey Delta, if it was so important for the dachshund-legged woman to take my seat, she should have booked the seat in advance like I did. First of all, maybe she did book that seat, right? You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Here's what I do know. The woman who's sitting in that seat is not a bad person, did not go out of their way to make you have a bad flight, right? Like, why are you needlessly insulting this woman?
You guys, can I just say, like, you really, if you're a right winger, you like her. That's like, she's insulting other passengers for no reason.
Yeah.
Personal attacks. She's a person who has some degree of power.
Yeah.
She has wealth and celebrity. That other person is just a regular person. And not only did she attack her appearance, then she took a picture of them.
Right, so I blurred out the photo because we don't need to show the identity of this person. But yeah, so she goes ahead and posts a photo of the woman. Delta didn't give my extra room seat to an air marshal or tall person. Here's the woman given my pre-booked seat. Just like,
why are you showing them?
Why would you go out of your way to take pictures of private citizens? I get it, they're in a public place, so there's no reasonable expectation of privacy. But you're needlessly posting their image, or her image specifically, on social media, like for what? So they attack her, so they come after her? I don't get what the point is, right? So the airline criticized her for posting derogatory and slanderous comments and photos in social media about its employees and customers. Delta said it was disappointed in Ms. Coulter and called her actions unnecessary and unacceptable. They also refunded her the $30, but she's like, you need to give me $10,000 because it took time for me to find that perfect seat, and time is money. I'm paraphrasing what she tweeted, but she tweeted something to that effect, and I think that's ridiculous. I mean, come on.
Of course it's ridiculous.
$10,000.
You're so precious that, oh my God, you spent an extra minute doing something.
I just feel like
they're all scam artists. She's doing it for attention. She's seeing if she can scam Delta out of some more money because she's a despicable person. And again, if this is the person that you think is your hero, unbelievable. And you wanna, she made people like airlines, like defend airlines, which I thought was unimaginable. Like, Americans generally have a horrible time with these airlines and are so frustrated. She's the only person who could have turned it around. And God bless Delta for actually standing up to her and saying that her actions were unacceptable and only returning the $30. And to the point where I thought, is this a false flag operation? Like where the airlines hired Ann Coulter to be such a raging fill in the blank jerk, right? That people then go, no, wait a minute, maybe the airlines are not so bad.
I don't know. I just feel like, there needs to come a day when Ann Coulter stops this, this characteristic of victimhood. Like when are you gonna stop making yourself a victim, Ann Coulter? When are you gonna start taking responsibility for your life and for your choices? How about that? Like, that's the funny thing though, right? First of all, like she comes off as this insanely whiny brat because it's not like she tweeted a couple things. She tweeted all weekend long, like, wah, wah, wah. You got another extra leg seat, like extra room for your leg seat. Like you're fine, I get it. Like you wanna be comfortable, you got a similar seat, it's not the end of the world. And then to proceed to attack people who haven't done anything wrong, it's freaking ridiculous. And there's the extra layer of the way she reacted to that story of that doctor, that Asian doctor that got dragged off that flight. That was the United flight. Her reaction to that was really interesting. She said, sorry about the dragging, but the convicted pill mill doctor should be deported. But he's been a citizen in the United States since the 1970s. I know you're a citizen, but I'd much rather have you deported.
So now Anna will get to say that to Ann Coulter's face in just a couple of weeks at Politicon, if you want to check that out.
No, Homegirl runs around running her mouth about how, Mexicans, they really harm society. We need to preserve our culture. Like, are you a representation of the type of culture you're trying to preserve? Because if that's the case, you don't make America great. You make America a laughingstock. You're embarrassing, right? Like she has the audacity to run her mouth talking about how terrible Muslims and Mexicans are. You're terrible. Like I can't even handle hearing her speak. All she does is use hyperbole. She never, ever, ever uses real statistics or facts to back up her anti-immigration BS, right? Yeah. She thinks there's 30 million undocumented immigrants in the country.
Yeah, she just made that up.
She just made it up. No, she cites a ridiculous study that has questionable methodology to say the least.
No, okay. So look, you get to watch Anna say all that to her face at Politicon. Go to politicon.com/TYT. Just she happens to be in the news today. That's certainly not why we're doing this story. But the last thing on Ann Coulter in regards to this story is the story about Dow, the doctor that was dragged out that you're talking about. If you say a guy who's a US citizen should be deported after he was assaulted by the airlines and dragged out and they bloodied him, she thinks, but that's awesome and it's your fault and you should be deported. Why? And she's so outraged that she got a slightly different seat. What's the difference between Ann Coulter and that doctor? No, she is a flat out indisputable racist. If that was a white person, there's no way she would have said he should be deported. Deported to where? Okay? And Dr. Dow lives in America and is a US citizen. Deported to where? Yeah. But in her mind, she's not white, so deport him to wherever, because only whites matter. Ann Coulter, you're an unbearable scum of the earth racist. You're what's wrong with America. If you like this video, you probably like independent media. The best way to support independent media, become a member of the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.